morning. I hope that you have had an incredible week. We've made it to Friday. And if you are off this weekend, I'm wishing you a great weekend. If you are working this weekend, level up, do good things if you've got to be there. I will tell you, we're on week 2 of a Working Woman show, and there is right at like 100 new people here. So if you are new, or if this is the first time you're watching a Working Woman show, I want to say welcome. The plan and the hope for this time that we spend together Monday through Friday, early in the morning whenever I'm in the office, the hope is that this would be a bright spot in your day, that we can talk about things that would make us laugh, and then also things that would make us think, and strategies and processes that would help us be more intentional and more effective as we lead ourselves, as we lead the people we work with, whether you have people that report to you or whether you are someone in an organization that is looking to build your influence or do more with the influence you have with your coworkers, your boss, your manager, your supervisor. So that is the premise behind a Working Woman's show. Today we're going to talk about a few different things. We are going to talk about what scares us professionally. We're going to talk about how to handle that, what mindset, what framework you can use in order to help you move forward better. And then we're going to talk about some information that I got yesterday from a group of people who will be at a conference that I'm speaking about earlier, how it can relate to you and what you can do about it to make sure that you are on top of how your team is feeling. So let's get started. First thing, yesterday I had a friend send me a text and ask me if I would come take pictures and basically model a shirt for her boutique. And if you know me at all, like that is out of my wheelhouse. To put myself up for people to literally look at and hopefully want to buy something makes me feel like nervous. And a couple of things that crossed my mind whenever I first read that text was, number one, she needs something. So she needs something. Can I help? Would this be an easy yes for me, a way for me to serve someone else? And it's only going to take about 20 minutes around lunchtime. I would probably be stuffing my face at a restaurant somewhere anyways. So yes, I can do that. I can serve in that way. The other thing was, I heard something a long time ago from my father-in-law. If you don't know, my father-in-law started a company about 30 years ago, Van Hooser Associates. And so now I've joined the team, and together we are leading training across the country, helping to strategically develop leaders. And leaders at all levels, from CEOs to emerging leaders. One thing he taught me a long time ago was this phrase: if it scares me professionally, I do it. And think about that for a second. If it scares me professionally, I do it. And so that's something that I've never forgotten. It's something that I live by. If you've read my book, Level Up, then you know the lay down the law process. We talked about that, I think, on episode 1, where we prioritize what's most important to us so that we can make very clear decisions on how to move forward. And so when I think about, if it scares me professionally, I'll do it, within the realm of laying down the law, this was something that I just said yes to. Why not? And when I laid down the law, this was something that could fit within what all I had going on. So I'm doing that later today, and I'm curious, this is not about me. I'm curious about you. Is there something that you could do or should do professionally, but you've been too scared to do it so far? And if there is, I want to encourage you to take on just that mindset, that way of thinking going forward. If it scares me professionally, I'll do it. Now, does that mean that professionally, if someone said, or if you had the idea to do just something totally outlandish, and you are scared to do that, do you do that? No. Like if someone said jump off a building and that scares you, Alyson said do it if it scares you. That's not what I'm saying. Let's use our brain. I'm saying that if you have an opportunity to step up, if you have an opportunity to serve and you've been too nervous to do it, if it fits within your laying down the law, if it fits within what's most important to you and it's an opportunity for you to show up for someone else, do it. And what I found too about being nervous is that when I'm nervous, like even when I first started speaking, that it all became about me and not the people I was serving. It became about what are people going to think about me? How am I? It became me thinking about me versus me thinking about you. And I had to really have a perspective shift, and that has helped with any nervousness that I've had. And I think about, man, if I would have thought about that back whenever I was in the corporate world, if I would have had that mindset of showing up and saying, this is not about me. I have this idea or I have something I want to say. I believe that it's going to help someone else. Let me now show up. Let me walk into that, whether I feel scared or not. That just radically changed the way that I felt. Literally, even moments before now, walking on a stage. It's not about me. It's not about what I'm wearing or how I look or any of that. It's about everything in my life has happened up to this point. The Lord has put me right here in order to speak to the people here. Not to speak, but to help, to serve. And so there are people here who need whatever I have to give. Not because I'm somebody special, but because we've all had experiences that we should all share with each other in order to help each other grow, to help us not have to go through the same battles. We should learn from one another. And so thinking about that, I am doing something new from a speaking standpoint. So this weekend will be my first time speaking at a church conference. Now, all of my work up to this point has been laser focused on developing managers and supervisors into really effective leaders in the corporate world. And Saturday is going to be a whole different story. I have this week been in the office and I've spent a ton of time preparing for this conference. The theme of the conference is victory. And in a time where the world it seems so crazy, thinking about coming in and talking about victory, it's been a challenge for me. And I literally yesterday just closed all of my books. I've got all these books on commentary and Greek language and trying to have a deep understanding of the word. I just shut it all and I just said, Lord, I feel like I can't hear you. I feel stressed that I'm not going to say what you want me to say. I need you to speak to me. And man, I wish that he would just talk to me like I'm talking to you. And I'll say this, if you're someone who maybe doesn't believe spiritually the same as I do, I believe that it's really powerful whenever we can think about people who are different than us or think about what other people are thinking about who are different than us. So I'm not pressing anything on you. I'm just sharing my heart and my life, and I'd love to hear about yours too. So as I'm saying, I'm literally sitting right here and I'm just saying Lord, I need to hear from you. I sort of just caught myself okay, I don't hear anything. And so all I know to do is the next right move. So I looked at my desk and I have 1 million Post-it notes. Do you do that? You start brainstorming everything on Post-it notes? Well, I said, okay, I'm just going to literally gather all of these up and just go stick them on my wall right there and see what fits where. And what I found is that over the days that I've been studying, the notes that I've been taking, the things that have come up since I began preparing for this conference a couple of months ago was the fact that when we think about victory, when I think about victory in the realm of Jesus, I think about how he's worked in my life through other people. So I'll tell you all a story about that. So there was a teacher, her name is Miss Conger, and if you've been in some of my talks before, you might have even heard this story. I believe to my core that leadership is serving others. And that has been proven to be true throughout my whole life. Miss Conger in 3rd grade, I didn't have a mom. She chose to leave whenever I was really little. And my dad wasn't really around. He had his own struggles going on. And one day for picture day, in 3rd grade, picture day, Miss Conger came up to me, and I'm giving you all the Cliff Notes version. Miss Conger came up to me and asked me, as a 7-year-old little girl, Alyson, do you want me to do your hair for picture day? And to me, that was a huge deal. Because, number one, I had never been fixed up for picture day. While that was a big deal for other girls that I went to school with, that was never a big deal for me because nobody at home cared what I wore or how I looked, and we didn't have any money to buy the picture. So picture day was never a big deal to me. Did I still look at other girls and admire them and wish that one day I could be like them, or that one day when I grow up, I'm going to be a mom and I'm going to dress up my daughter for picture day? Did I have all of those thoughts? Yes, but picture day couldn't for me. It wasn't an option for me in 3rd grade for that to be a big deal. But Miss Conger saw a need and she met it. Whether she didn't have to do that. Her job was to teach me math, reading, writing. But she chose to take action outside of what her normal job description was and serve me. And that, I'm 32, has impacted me 25 years later. And now, even as I get Willow, my oldest daughter, ready for picture day, I'm thinking about that day that Miss Conger kept me after school and she rolled my hair in these sponge rollers, and how I learned then, this is how it must feel to have a mom. I can't wait to have a daughter one day and help them feel that way. And it shapes how I treat the kids that now come over to our house, our kids' friends, because I realize, we all have our struggles, and there may be needs we can serve that will have an impact far beyond what we could imagine in the moment. And so thinking about victory, I can look back in my life, even at moments like where my teacher rolled my hair for picture day, which in the big scheme of things, is that a big deal? No. But it's these little moments of other people showing up that I can see that the Lord cares about the little things in our lives. And it's through other people being willing to take action that we can experience another level of the goodness of God. And so what I'm going to share with them this weekend is just the power of, when life feels crazy and we feel like we have nothing left to give, what we should do in order to grow the glory of God, in order to make His name bigger, is serve other people. And it's funny how that ties back into what I do professionally. Serve other people. Leadership is service. So when the world feels crazy and we're feeling down and bad things are happening, family members are dying, friends are losing loved ones, kids are unhealthy, all of this, when all of that's going on, the Lord can be glorified if we will choose to, regardless of how we feel stressed or sad, if we will choose to take action to serve other people anyway. And the amazing thing about that is that when you step up and you serve other people, that just doesn't minister or bless them. You will find that it also in turn blesses you. So you will start, if you're in a hard season, you will start to experience victory in a hard season. You will start to experience joy in a hard season. You will start to hopefully be brought out of that because you chose to take action and serve somebody else. So I'm not trying to preach at y'all today, but I do feel like the things that happen in our life and on a Working Woman show, if we, the people watching this, Holly, Heather, everyone that has joined in, if we can be people who share more of what's on our heart with other people, if we can be women who step up and serve people, even when it's inconvenient, even when it might be hard, even when we shouldn't have to, and it's outside of the realm of our job description or where we're at in life with certain people, if we'll step up and minister to other people in hard seasons, it's going to do so much for the kingdom of the Lord and for enhancing joy in the other person's life and in ours too. So, let's end with a little bit more focused on work today. I told you all that I got some information yesterday that was just eye-opening. You know, the challenges that one organization may be having in Kentucky can be very different from the challenges someone else is having in California. And I'm going to share with you some challenges that were gathered from a group of people from literally across the country who are coming together for a conference in September. And so one of the questions it was a pre-work question that was asked to this group was, what are you needing at work right now? What is causing you stress, or what would make things better for you? And overwhelmingly, the response was, people want to feel supported. Now, I was talking with a group last night who's doing it's a leadership team, Core title, so some of them may even have dropped in here already. I talked to them about this last night because it just came up. It was fresh on my mind. We've got the powers that be, all of the big research companies are looking at the workforce right now, and they're saying there is going to be, and there's going to continue to be this huge shift in the workplace where people are quitting, and they're going to find employers and leaders and work that fills their soul and allows them to live the life they want, both professionally and personally. And so with that in mind, knowing that that is being predicted to happen, hearing directly from hundreds of people, like, this is what I'm struggling with, this is what would make me stay, my ears were perked up. And when I think about supporting people, you know, I feel supported when I have autonomy to make decisions. But what I've learned is that everyone doesn't feel supported that way. Some people feel supported when they are given more money. Some people feel supported whenever they are simply told, thank you, good job, keep going. We all experience connection in a different way. One of the earliest ways that I learned this was actually when Joe and I were first, we were married and we were trying to figure each other out because we wanted to lay a foundation so that we had a really good marriage going forward. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, I believe. That is a book that I would encourage every leader to read, because I think that it doesn't only apply in a marriage. Maybe you're not even married. Maybe you don't want to be married. Maybe you want to be married one day. It's a great book for marriage, but it's a great resource for helping you understand how people connect differently. So if we know that from this study, from this question, or this pre-work questionnaire, that a lot of people are wanting to feel supported, I wonder if that's the same for the people on your team, at your work. Do they too want to feel supported? Would they be likely to go find another job or be open to another job opportunity if it came to them, if they felt like they would be more supported there? Now, what does that mean? The 5 love languages, I wrote them down. Words of affirmation, physical touch, probably not a good one for work. Receiving gifts, quality time, acts of service. So think about what all that could mean. You may have someone who needs the encouraging word from you, whether they're your coworker or they are on your team, or even if you are encouraging your boss up in the organization. The physical touch, what if it's a hug? If you work in a small business and you're really close to people, maybe you're not super close at the moment. Maybe there's been some drama that has sort of torn you apart. A hug can do wonders. There's research, Joe and I do this now, there's research that says a 20-second hug can boost endorphins in your body. Now, am I telling anyone to go hug someone if you don't have permission to hug them? No. Let's again use our brain. And you can even ask, like, Alyson's so crazy. She said this morning that if we hug, it could help, whatever. Like, however you have to do it, but make sure that the other person wants that physical touch, that hug, that, just don't make it weird. Just, okay, moving on. Receiving gifts. So think about the people on your team. If someone's love language, let's say, is receiving gifts, let's say you are trying to support them, you're offering them words of encouragement, but they still might not feel supported. Maybe a gift to them could be a restaurant gift certificate. It could be maybe a raise if that's warranted from a performance perspective. It could be coffee or a milkshake. I mean, it could be a million things, but something physical, you giving that to someone, is how someone feels love, how someone might feel supported. The other one is quality time. Maybe you take someone to lunch and you listen to them talk about what they're going through. You just spend time with them in the season that they're in. And the next one is acts of service. How can you serve the people around you? Maybe you can take out your coworkers' trash, or maybe you can... The list could go on and on of ways that you can serve the people around you. Maybe you take something off of their to-do list and you get that done for them so that they don't have to think about it over the weekend. Whatever it is, how can we as working women show up today and support and serve the people around us? You see the theme here? If we want victory, if we want good things, it comes back to pouring into others. It radically can change other people's lives, and it can fundamentally change our life. Now, I want to leave you all with a question you can share with your team. Someone I know named Bethany sent me a message this week and said, you've talked about this question that I'm about to share with you before, several weeks ago, and I shared it with my team, and it changed the whole dynamic, the whole vibe in the meeting for the rest of the day, and now other people in her organization are going to start using it. Here's a great question, on a Friday to ask, number one, yourself, but also the people around you. This is going to help you focus on the positive and even give you an action plan on how to better lead your people going forward. The question is, for my note takers, pen and paper. The question is, why are you staying here? Easy enough, right? But oftentimes, as organizations, we do exit interviews and we know why people leave. People will often, before they quit, they will often vent about their issues or their concerns. But it's rare that we ever take a look at our high-performing people and say, hey Heather, hey Holly, whoever it is, what keeps you here at our organization? Why are you staying? And people around you may give you reasons like it's the flexibility. So if you are a manager or supervisor and you realize that flexibility is super important to employee A, now may be a horrible time to go change the schedule on somebody. You may have someone else say, why do you stay? I had someone I worked with years ago say to me that they were not going to leave an organization because of a certain leader who made them feel like they wanted them to grow personally and professionally. And so if you have someone on your team who's a high performer and you're trying to figure out the organization, should we restructure right now? If there's someone, let's say employee B on your team, who is only staying because they love their leader so much, if you put them in a different department or a different area of the organization or have them report to someone else, you're basically opening the door for that great employee to leave. And then I'll ask you too, it's important that we do this self-reflection for ourselves. What's making you stay? Can you answer that question? Can you give a list? And if you're making sort of like a pro-con list, if there are more reasons for you to leave than stay, if those reasons to leave are more important than why you're staying, like, that's a stressful place to be in. And with so many opportunities in the world, so many different ways to build a career in the world today, I highly recommend that you don't stay stuck in a place that you feel like is holding you back. So that's all I have today, guys. We have been all around today, so we'll wrap this up. We have had about 100 new people join us over the last 2 weeks in this little A Working Woman show. So it's my hope that you all will connect with each other, even as you're commenting, and that you all will build connections with other women who are focused on becoming better at work. That's the intention of A Working Woman show, to be a bright spot to help people build relationships and to become a better leader of yourself and the people around you. Then we talked about, if it scares me professionally, I do it. So if you have an opportunity, or if there's an idea you want to propose, if you're scared about it, if you're nervous, flip the script. Think more about the people you're going to help and less about what people are going to think about you, and then move forward. And then finally, we talked about all of the reports that are saying there's going to be a massive shift in the workplace, that so many people are going to be quitting their jobs and finding something else to help them fulfill what they want personally and professionally. And so as a leader, with the people around you, people on your team, you need to be understanding why they're here, why they're still working for you. Because number one, if they're a high performer, you don't want them to leave. You don't want them to be searching out opportunities. But if they're a high performer, especially in a smaller town, other organizations are going to be looking at them. They're going to be coming after them. They're going to be sending them messages. And if you don't know why people are staying, then you can't capitalize on that. If they're staying for the flexibility, if they're staying for the leader, whatever those reasons are, if you know that, you can capitalize on that. You can be sure that you don't make decisions that take those good things away. So, it's Friday. Let's play the song. I hope you all have a really great weekend. I'm thinking about you, praying for you all, and I will see you all bright and early, 9-ish on Monday. Bye, guys.